Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the DFS Army. I don't know if you want to call it a podcast, YouTube video, or instructional series, whatever you want to call it. This is your Breakaway slate breakdown for March 2nd. I'm your buddy Chapadong. You can find me on Twitter at Chapadong, and you can find me inside the DFS Army in our Slack channels for VIPs. Under the same name, we give a lot of advice. We talk an awful lot about hockey. The basketball guys have things well under control. Our hockey and our NASCAR and our PGA stuff is really cranking up. Baseball's getting ready to start. We have a few pieces that I tweet out on occasion about baseball. So if you guys want to learn about each individual DFS sport, I'm going to tell you there's no better place than to be a VIP in the DFS Army. Go to dfsarmy.com, enter coupon code CHOP, C-H-O-P, and get yourself a 20% lifetime discount. Your rate will never go up. You're grandfathered into any price changes as long as you never cancel your membership. And to be quite honest with you, get involved, start talking to us, start meeting a bunch of people that think like you do, play like you do. Once again, I am Chapadong. I'm going to bust down this slate with you. We've got a 10-game slate. We kind of got to hurry. I'm going to start a little bit with process. Some of you guys may be new to the Army, new to YouTube and whatnot, and finding me for the first time. So one of the things that I do, I build with a very, very cash-oriented mind frame, if you want to call it that. When we scroll down through the starting lineups here, I'm looking for a couple of things. I'm trying to target the best offenses going up against soft defenses. I'll show you how to target those under this tab here in a second. I don't focus a ton on over-unders. I mean, I pay attention to them. I do focus an awful lot on the money line for finding my goalies. I'm looking for huge money lines. I look for anything over about 170, 180 on a full slate. Any of these minus 200s are going to be in play. Holtby is going to be in play. Guy is, 14-1 over his last 15 games. Just chalk him up. He might be the chalk goalie of the night. There are a couple of other options we'll go through. If you see the minus 200, they're going to be on my radar. When I'm building a cash lineup in hockey, I tend to want to spread it out. I have, let's say they do score 3 goals tonight in Washington. I don't know where these goals are going to come from. Neither do you. We can typically say that Ovechkin's great, Backstrom is great, but you never know when Lars Eller's going to come off with a goal, in an assist in a night. We never know for sure. In hockey, it's a very volatile sport. Pucks clank off goalposts. Goalies make miraculous saves. Shit happens. So what we're trying to do in cash, since we're more concerned about safety and capturing production as opposed to focusing in and getting every single piece of the production, we're trying to make sure if 3 goals get scored in a game that we have pieces of them. We're trying to make sure that we spread out a little bit. So I may or may not take an Ovechkin, but let's say that I do take, say, Backstrom. I'm looking for one of 2 ways to overlap my production here. Number 1, I'll take somebody off of the same line. I'll take Ovechkin with Backstrom or Wilson with Backstrom, and I'll get my exposure to maybe an assist if a goal gets scored. That way, kind of mini stack it, if you will. The other way I like to do the most is drop down to another line and take somebody on the same power play unit. So I would take Backstrom and stack him with Johansson or Williams because they're both on the power play unit. I'm spreading my goal across 2 lines. If a goal gets scored here, I might have a piece of it. If a goal gets scored here, I might have a piece of it. But if a goal gets scored on the power play, I might have both pieces of it. So for me, that little bit of overlap increases my safety in cash. Yes, it absolutely wrecks my ceiling. I'm not going to score 60 points on DraftKings in one night because of this. But I'm doing that on purpose because in such a volatile sport, I want safety. And I want to find it where I can. And I want to, conceptually give myself the best chance at cashing when I'm only trying to beat half the field, when I'm only trying to beat one guy head to head. I'd rather him take the risk and him make the mistakes and me take the money. So the way I do that is I spread out a little bit. In a GPP, of course, I'm stacking this whole top line. I want the goal and both assists. Or I might stack the whole damn power play unit, take Ovechkin, Backstrom, Johansson, and Williams. I've got 2 pieces. Now, what I've done with 4 of my 9 skaters coming off of the Washington unit, if Washington goes and beats New Jersey tonight 2-1, or if New Jersey beats them 2-0, that just screwed me. I can't take that chance in cash with all of these other games on the slate, and I don't know which ones are going to go off. I've got ideas, but again, hockey's a volatile sport. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make sure that I spread myself out. I'm trying to take no more than 2 skaters per team. I prefer a very balanced structure. I might take 2 from Nashville or Washington. Then I might drop down and take 2 from Nashville. I might then come up and take one from Columbus, and then I might take one from Boston. I'm going to target my primary offenses for the night. So while we're talking about that, who are the primary offenses of the night? What I'm going to do is I'm going to skip over here to this Roto-Grinders tab. I'm going to go to earned points. I'm going to go to the last 4 weeks. I don't care about the season. It's a long season. Injuries happen. I will use it as sort of a reference point in that I know that Boston shoots the puck like crazy. Their season numbers are very, very high. However, when I sort this column by shots on goal over the last 4 weeks, earned, meaning this team did the shooting, and I sort that out, Chicago, Columbus, where's Boston? Boston is way down here, middle of the road. So Boston has slacked off on their shots on goal a little bit lately. That may or may not tell me something. To some people it does. To me it does. It tells me they're not shooting the puck as much as they were. But again, if they're in a soft matchup, they're going to shoot the puck because I know it is Boston. Another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to sort by fantasy points. Who are my producing teams over the last 4 weeks? Again, why 4 weeks? Well, because it's not last week where we only got 1 or 2 games. It's over a good 10 or 13 game stretch. I don't care what happened in October. I care what happened recently, but I want to smooth out that variance a little bit. I'm trying to find my hot team. If I see a team, say Chicago, is, say, 12th or 13th in season numbers on fantasy points scored, yet they're now number 1 over the past month, guess who's running hot? If you watched last night, you know that Kane and Taves are running hot as hell right now. That's showing up in these numbers because these 4-week numbers in their rankings are starting to surpass where they rank on their season numbers. That shows me there's an uptick. There's something happening. Conversely, I look for teams that are also falling in the rankings, and I get away from them a little bit. Hopefully this is making sense as to which offenses to target. Now, one thing I'm going to do is, let's say tonight, Boston, 2nd, they're on my radar. Minnesota, 3rd, they're on my radar. Washington, 4th, they're on my radar. Nashville, 5th. San Jose, 6th. Dallas is a top 10 fantasy point scoring team over the past month. They're on my radar. I'm looking for teams that are going to match up against crap when it comes to defenses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this 4-week number to allowed. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and figure out which of these teams, if my computer will catch up on me, which of these teams, let's sort by shots on goal. Buffalo allows a ton. Toronto allows a ton of shots. Arizona, New York, these are the teams I want to be picking on. These teams allow a crap load of shots. Look at New Jersey. New Jersey is normally at the bottom of the list when it comes to their shots on goal allowed. They're normally a shot suppressing team, defense-oriented team. All of a sudden, over the past 10 or 11 games, they've started to give up shots. Who are they facing tonight? Washington, one of the most powerful offenses, as you just saw, in all of the league. Hello. This is a good offense going against a slumping defense. We want to take advantage of that in DFS. Will it work out every time? No. Will it work out most of the time? It should. If we go across a long 80-game season, 82-game season, this is going to work out more times than it won't. Numbers don't lie, guys. I'm going to search by who's giving up the most fantasy points on the season. Winnipeg, Toronto, Dallas. These are the teams I want to be picking on. Lately, maybe they've traded a guy away. Maybe they've shuffled their lines. Maybe they've had some key injuries. Maybe a team that we normally think of as a relatively defensive team like a Nashville is all of a sudden giving up an awful lot of if you're a VIP, you know what that message is going to mean. There's been a ton of points all of a sudden given up by a team that's normally defensive oriented. Something's happening. We want to jump on that. Get in there, get involved, and stack a line against them in a GPP. The odds are better that that's going to go off than if you come all the way down here to a team like St. Louis or Washington that doesn't give up shit. If I've got a non-offensive team, a more defensive-oriented team like New Jersey going up against a very defensive-oriented team like Washington, why the hell would I roster a Devil tonight? Unless I can find overwhelming evidence that somebody's running hot as hell, the overall team is in a bad spot. So I don't want to touch them. I'm going to try and find the top 3 offenses to target. So let's really quickly try to run through it in 5 minutes. Washington is definitely up there. They're one of my teams to watch. Why? They're 7-2-1 in their last 10. They're a minus 280 favorite in Vegas. Brian Holtby is 14-1 in his last 15. And against the New Jersey Devils in their last 10 games, they're 9-0-1. Domination. I don't care that this is a 5. There's going to be points scored here. Is it going to be 8 goals? Probably not. But there's going to be a lot. There's going to be 3 or 4. There should be. When I scroll down to my second favorite offense of the night, I might go all the way down to San Jose. Why? Vancouver is not very good on the road. San Jose is a minus 250 favorite. Yes, Martin Jones is in play tonight, but Martin Jones in his last 4 games has had 2-goal games, games of 2 goals or less 4 times of his last 5 games, but that one game was a 6. He allowed 6 goals. I don't know if I can trust that. They're 3-2 in their last 5 games, or at least Martin Jones is, and that's 2 overtime losses. I don't know if I can trust that. I can't handle that. What I can handle is the fact that they've won 2 in a row, that they're a minus 250 favorite. In their last 10 games, San Jose is 7-3, and they're playing a team in Vancouver that sucks on the road. I like that. I'm going to start looking at, of course, Burns is on top of everybody's list, but he's damned expensive. I'm looking for cheap exposure to this offense. Why? They are the 8th most shooting team in the league in the past month. And they're facing Vancouver, who's given up the 10th most shots. I've got a top 10 shooting team going against a top 10 shots allowed team. I've got, in terms of fantasy point scoring, San Jose is 6th in the last 4 weeks. And as terms of giving up fantasy points, Vancouver is 5th. That tells me top 10 team going against a top 10 bad team. Hello, this is a team that I want a piece of tonight. I'll take 2 skaters from Washington, 2 skaters from San Jose. I'll probably dip down into, did I say Washington and San Jose? Hopefully I did. I would probably also dip down into the New York Islander and the Dallas game. Where did that one go? The reason why is both these teams are scoring points and both these teams are giving them up. That's why you see the 6 from Vegas. That's why you see close to a 3 on both teams. And that's why you see no decided advantage for either team. Am I touching a goalie? Hell no. Am I looking to take on both sides of this game? Possibly. If I took 2 skaters, so I didn't overexpose, I don't know which of those 4 teams is going to go off. I don't want to overexpose and get caught with only scoring 1 goal. I want to get pieces of these games and hope they all do well. If you want to take me on one-on-one and stack up the Washington game, I'm not going to fault you for that. I'm telling you you're taking unnecessary risk. I'm telling you over the course of the season, you're going to catch a flat game and I'm going to screw you. That's the nature of cash. That's the idea behind cash. I'm going to take 2 Washington guys, maybe a Boston guy, 2 San Jose guys, and maybe 1 or 2 from either side of this game. And like I said before, I'm going to take maybe Jamie Benn and then Tyler Seguin. Or I might take Patrick Sharp because he's dirt-ass cheap. And I might drop down to a Spezza or a Hudler. I might take Yuri Hudler. I don't know. I haven't gone into the actual players yet. And guys, we don't do that on this. We don't have the time to do that. I'm here to target the offenses for you. I'm here to target the defenses for you. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to run down this list really, really quick. My primary offenses tonight: San Jose, Washington, New York Islanders, Dallas, possibly Nashville. Nashville's running hot. Possibly Boston. Boston's been running hot. My secondary offenses are definitely Boston and Nashville, like I mentioned. But I don't mind a little Arizona or a little Buffalo. Those teams have been giving up fantasy points like crazy. That game, 2 bad teams going against each other, it might explode. I don't mind Minnesota. I don't mind Columbus as much. I don't mind Ottawa that much. I don't mind Toronto. I don't mind LA. Did I just give you like every team in the league or what? You have to narrow that down a little bit more. I'm telling you, focus on the primary games. Focus on the teams that you can find where Washington has scored the 4th most fantasy points over the last month, and New Jersey has suddenly had a defensive lapse and has given up the 8th most points. That's a game to target. I'm telling you, there are a lot of them that are kind of mediocre, but the ones to target I'm focusing on: San Jose, Washington, and who did I just mention? San Jose, Washington, and God, where's the third one? I mentioned it already a ton of times today and I can't find it. New York or Dallas. Probably New York. But at any rate, if you took LA or Toronto and stacked that game up in a GPP, I'm not going to complain. If you took a little bit of Buffalo and a little bit of Nashville with your Washington, I'm not going to complain. That's the beauty of the game. That's why we have so much variance in it. Anyway, guys, join the DFS Army. Jump in, communicate with us on Slack where we discuss player picks and we discuss all of the deeper strategy we can't discuss in this 15-minute video. I'm out. Have a good night.